Jen's
I just
on top
did a
of it.
shot. I did a wine shot.
Amazing.
That's cool. I think you're going to start a new fad. Wine shots.
Wine shots.
Wineshots.com.
Yeah.
Josh, can you get that
Yeah,
URL real quick?
wineshots.com.
All right.
He'll have it by the time we're done.
Is that it?
Was that it?
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry, that
do
was
it
a
again.
practice one.
Okay.
Welcome to the MNO Show with Jennifer Ariane DeRay.
That's great.
Bravo
Was
to
that
both
it?
of you.
Hey.
This is going straight to NPR. We're gonna send this in as my highlight tape.
Perfect.
Yeah, one take wonder right there. Oh, actually, it was 2 takes. Maybe next time, Josh.
Okay, cool. So this episode, because Jen does not drink beer, we're going to do just some wine. So I might as well get a little bit going. But
Well, the reality is I don't drink beer. I pretty much strictly drink vodka.
yes.
But we're going with wine tonight.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
We would do vodka.
Yeah, but it's very
It
strange.
is.
Like I can have wine, I cannot have beer, I can have sake, and I can have potato vodka.
And
Those
sake
are
is
my
rice, right?
rice.
Interesting.
Rice.
Yeah, and I can have rice.
And you're good with
You
any
could
of
have
these wines?
shochu, which
that
is
potato?
rice, which is Japanese vodka, which is rice vodka.
Oh, great. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I didn't know about that one.
And they make lots of fun shochu cocktails. So we'll start
That's
with the
good to
Sauv
know.
Blanc, because I think you were drinking Sauv.
I was. Yeah.
And this is cool because we've never
I
even
know
come
you've never
close
done
to doing
the wine thing.
And we have so many fun wines here, so it's perfect. This one's called Tohu. It's a Sauv Blanc, and it's from New Zealand.
Oh, good. New Zealand Sauv Blanc is usually my,
Is
my
your jam?
go-to.
Yes. My friend Danny, who's a real estate agent and a fireman, he's the one several years ago turned me on to New Zealand Sauv Blancs. So that's why we have these here. And this one's really good.
Danny, what is his last name?
Danny Lampert.
Okay. Because I have a Danny firefighter that I was just talking about. That's
Oh,
a
wow,
client.
that's
but
great.
I was going to
yeah.
say, wow.
He
the
could be an
firefighter
actor.
thing.
Danny could?
Oh, yeah, he's a stud. He's
Well,
like
I'll tell you, Danny firefighters are amazing actors.
Okay.
That's what I've found
Okay.
in my massive research.
Jen was just talking
Danny.
about this firefighter. Tell us a little bit about what you're working on.
Oh, yeah. Well, obviously we were kind of chatting on podcasts. And so I have a client named Danny Gonzalez, and his brother is Ben Gonzalez. And they have a podcast that they do called PRC, which is Please Remain Calm. And
Nice.
it's just all about, like, the
Firefighter
firefighting.
life?
Yeah.
First responder stuff?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and so they have guests come in, like the chief of that firehouse or the whatever, and
Yeah.
they roll through that, and it's cool because Danny's an actor with me, and he's phenomenal, and he's been in the fire, he's been being a firefighter for 19 years now. Their dad was a firefighter for 32 years.
Wow.
And Ben is, it's crazy. So Ben has been a paramedic for about 17 years or something like that. He's also a stand-up comic. So, so like the two of them.
That's a great formula.
Yeah. So the two of them do this podcast, and we're in the process of pitching out their show called American Firehouse. That is, they really have it down. Like, go in, talk about the major incident. One of the major incidents that happened in that firehouse, talk to all the guys. Then,
Wow.
and one of the kind of bonding scenarios in being a firefighter and having that familial vibe is the meal every day.
Yeah.
And so then they have the last portion of the show is cooking
The
the
meal.
meal,
That's
and like
awesome.
them sitting around the table and just anyway. So
They have the
that's
format down.
big time, yeah. And so Danny the firefighter / actor client, and Ben, and so we're in the process of figuring that out, pitching it out.
That's very cool. We'll have to definitely check out that podcast.
Well, here, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's great to see you. It's great
Yes, you too.
to sit and chat
I
and
know.
drink wine.
Yes.
And next time we'll have you back, we'll have vodka. We're getting our liquor license soon.
Oh, beautiful.
So we'll be able
Well,
to
yeah, you need to shove some more fucking people in here, right? Is that why?
Yeah,
right.
well,
Yeah,
I don't know
'cause-
if you can, but
Yeah,
you can try.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll try.
So how did the two of you guys connect, like, originally? So
Oh yeah, you know what? Can you go?
Me?
Well, I'm just saying, like, I know. I mean, obviously the
Let's hear
connection
John's
was
story first.
the
Is that what
the
you're saying?
connection was Jeff,
Yeah,
but
it's
I don't
Jeff.
remember how. Like, I don't remember a
Man.
sequence of things.
Well,
Jeff Turney, by the way.
yeah, Jeff Turney,
Yes.
Guitar player of OPM.
guitar player of OPM.
Yeah.
So you guys have been friends.
I was gonna say we're gonna drop a clip of Jeff saying he'll with his fedora sideways.
Yes.
Oh,
saying
yeah.
we'll fight somebody else in the bar who was also wearing a fedora.
Josh, I have fedora questions. Don't worry.
Well, yeah. I mean, we were friends, but
you guys
also,
were-
well, the way we started was our bands played together,
Oh, that's right.
and then
Yeah,
we
you-
dated.
That's right. Well,
Yeah.
So you
I
had a
told
band.
him that, but
Yeah. What?
You had a band.
Oh yeah, I was
Yeah.
in a band. Yeah, I was in a band called The
yeah,
Extinct.
that's the first time I saw you was you playing. You were singing.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, that's the
okay.
first
in
time
The
I-
Extinct. For
I don't
sure?
remember which band it was. Was it a
Okay.
band that Jeff played in?
No, The Beans.
The Beans.
Yeah, but we
Yeah.
also changed our band name every time we played. It was
Okay.
our whole vibe of like, who gives a fuck? We're
Yeah.
not trying to do like because he was in Thanatopsis, which is a poem about death, and I was in The Extinct.
This is a lot. I'm gonna have to like rewind this a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
But-
going back.
But so he and I, because we were dating and we wanted to do something other than the bands that we were in.
Yeah.
So that's how Sohill,
Yes.
Paul, Rattan, and Jay Faby.
Yeah, that's right. Baby J. Faby.
Yeah. So
Baby
so
J. Faby was
That's quite a name.
Baby J. Faby and Paul
Rattan. Yeah.
were both in OPM for a while as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so also Carol, who's now Ian, is their name, Ian. But they were a drummer in The Extinct, my band, and also a drummer in the band with Jeff. But I mean,
Right.
literally, we were like, okay, this next show, we are Waft. This next show, we are Stool Captain. We changed our fucking name every time. But we settled on the Beans, and that's kind of what we kept
Yeah,
doing.
so I think
yeah,
that
so
was
it's probably the
that
Beans.
was the first time I ever saw you. I don't think I even met you that night, but Jeff invited me to a The Beans show, and I saw you.
So the first time you guys connected, you were singing.
Yeah.
in the
So
Beans.
then when Jeff, so at that time,
Yeah, where was
I
OPM?
met Jeff, and this is when I was a scout at Island Records.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
You know what? Seriously, I blocked that out for some reason, or maybe not not a moment,
Yeah.
but I did not. I mean, now I totally remember that, but I didn't remember that.
Yeah,
until
so
just
I was a
second.
scout, and then I became friends with Jeff, and he was playing in many bands, I think, at that time.
Yeah.
I saw him play, and I would always go and see him play in all his different bands, whatever. And then when I started OPM, I grabbed him to come and play guitars. And then the whole crew, basically, that you're talking about was like all his people, all you
Yeah.
guys were his people. And,
Yeah.
and then and then there was a version of OPM where like Baby J and Paul played the barbecue. Do you remember that? We made this barbecue out of a 55-gallon drum that like folded open and had giant OPM in Old English on the front.
Oh my
and
God.
he had like he was like a multi-instrumentalist, like so he would play like the
I feel like I'm like a barbecue. Like
It was a grill.
Okay, it was a grill.
It looked like a grill.
Okay.
Right, but it had inside. It had
Do we have a picture of this floating around somewhere?
there
we could
is.
drop in?
We'll find one. I will find one. Yeah. It was. He had an MPC 2000 that he would play live.
right.
And then he had a couple other instruments back there, and then also we had like a George Foreman grill, and so and there would be like he would grill like hot dogs, and then he would just randomly
While
like
you
pull
were
it
playing.
while we were playing shows. Yes,
Oh my God.
and And then
the hot dog thing that bands do.
yeah, it was like a barbecue. Like we wanted to create the vibe that was like a barbecue. We were just out chilling out at like
makes sense for you
SoCal
guys.
barbecue. Yeah. And
Barbecue is part of your vibe.
then yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That was that. Hence
Yeah.
Paul.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great.
And Jay played drums. I think one tour. And then Big B wanted to kill him like 2 days into the tour. And we're like, let's just ride this out till we get home, and then we'll figure it out. And Jay almost died. That
So
tour.
somehow you like transitioned from like having your band, being in a band, to like managing OPM.
Yeah. I mean, so my band, I was in the first band for 7.5 years, The Extinct, and then literally the day that broke up, like the next day, started another band with the bass player and drummer from The Extinct, and we were called 3-Man Engine. And so we played for about 4.5 years, just around LA, had a blast. And it was very, like, my first band was very, we just kind of fell into something. I mean, it was very basic. It was like fucking, 4/4 harmonies, sing-along choruses, like the whole nine.
Yeah.
And so...
Doesn't sound bad.
So, no, but I'm just saying, for 7.5 years, I gotta say, for me, it kind of, I mean, it was an amazing experience, and I loved every second of it. But when that band broke up, I was kind of like, okay, I don't want to do 4/4 harmonies, so fucking, so, I can swear here. Okay,
we're just
good,
on
'cause
YouTube
I was
or
just
whatever.
gonna say.
You're actually swearing really well.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. a lot of practice. So then I wanted to do something that was just bizarre and fucked up and just like totally different. So did that for about 4.5 years. But at the tail end of The Extinct, I actually started managing bands, but it was mostly at first it was just like friends. Like, oh, well, I just went on tour and we did all this shit, and I know more stuff now, so I can share that with bands that are friends of mine. And then it became something more official. I was working with a band called King Vitamin, which was fucking amazing. I loved that band so much. And then it just kind of expanded, and I managed a record producer for a while. I managed a band called The Hanks for about 8 years.
Yeah.
Another band called The Forward, a band called Jupiter Sunrise. So I had quite a few bands and some solo artists, like singer-songwriter vibe. And so then so I was doing that, and once the second band broke up, then I was just managing. That's all I was doing. So, and in 2005, I started doing showcasing during South by Southwest, just the music part of that. So I did 9 years in a row doing that, which actually kind of bridged into, like, in 2008 I started doing actor management, but I kept the South by thing going till like 2013. So that was kind of, and
When did Southwest start?
South by is usually mid-March.
No, I mean like what year?
Oh, well,
That was happening when I was at Island.
Yeah, well,
So
the
that
first
was-
one I went to was 96, but I know it had been going for a while still.
I had no idea that it was that
Oh,
early.
yeah.
But it
Yeah,
got
back
really
then it
popular,
was
though.
like
Oh, yeah, back then it was indie and
it was
like...
so cool.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
super cool. I remember the first, I don't remember what year it was, but like they started announcing like the headliners of South by, and it was fucking Metallica and No
Right.
Doubt, and I was like, oh, okay, and here's
Yeah.
the beginning of the end.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I mean, that's what it felt like.
Well, yeah, like I remember, I think it was 96 or 97. It was all the, it was like all the indie, bands, whatever, that were showcasing. But then you would be there, and they'd be like, Stone Temple Pilots are playing
Right.
a secret show at, whatever, and like watch Stone Temple Pilots
That
like
sounds
play
amazing
at a
to
little
me.
club in Austin.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
That part was cool, except it really sucked the joy out of the purpose of discovering brand new bands who
Right.
had fuck all going on, except
Yeah.
they came from Sweden to like perform
Right.
one fucking show on,
Yeah.
midnight
In
on a
in
Wednesday
hopes
or
of getting signed.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
it was a different time.
yeah, definitely.
And then you mentioned the Hanks.
Yep.
And which Shane was.
Oh yeah, so
on
Shane was
podcast.
the drummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shane was the drummer of the Hanks,
Yeah.
and then this, like, Shane working with OPM was like kind of through all of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Jeff and I produced the Hank's first record at our studio, MNO, in Hollywood. And that's when we met Shane and the rest of the band. Josh and Brian and Phil.
Yep. Yeah, so Josh was the singer, Brian was the bass player, who's just...
I still follow Brian on social media, still keep up with his life.
He's like the best fucking dude
He's
in
such
the
a
universe.
good human.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
so wonderful.
Such a good guy.
So yeah, so Phil was our multi-instrumentalist.
Multi-instrumentalist. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Super
Shane
talented.
was the drummer. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, the whole band was talented. Josh was like a genius.
Yeah.
For sure. Like so much so that like he was just almost his worst enemy.
Yeah,
you know?
but he was. I mean, my gosh, he was. And what's crazy is, so I went to an alumni weekend at the school that I went to, and basically, so I went to a co-ed boarding school that my parents helped to start in Oregon, in a tiny town up there, and I went up for, I think it was like in, when did I switch? I don't know, whatever year it was. I went up and it was just like kind of, I mean, this is hippy dippy shit too. This is like, it was a monastery on top of a hill and a whatever, and so
Sounds
that's
awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. And now there are like 8 of them all over the,
Really?
but my parents helped to start this thing. So I went up, and I mean, the whole student body is 250 people. So like our first graduating class was like a 1.
Yeah.
Second graduating class was fucking 0.
Wow.
But I went back up, and I was doing this. Anyone who'd come back, they'd always want you to do like seminars about your fucking thing. And so I was talking about music, and Brian was in the seminar.
Wow.
There were like 12 people. Brian was one. And he had great questions. That was the first thing I noticed about him. He was like asking really cool questions. And then right after it ended, he comes up and he's like, so, we're playing the talent show tonight. I was wondering, at about 4 o'clock, we're doing our sound check. I was wondering if you'd come down to our sound check and check us out. So, and I'm like, oh my God, like it was so fucking cute and wonderful that I had to I remember I was like, oh, totally. Inside.
Holding back laughter.
Holy shit. So I go, and I was blown away. I was so blown away. And I was like, fuck, this is amazing. And of course I got mad because when I was there was no recording studio. Like, there was a recording studio where they could they made an EP in this.
Was Shane with them then?
Oh, no. This
okay.
was just, this was
him?
It was Josh,
him and
Brian,
Josh.
and then they had like bass and drums,
Gotcha.
other
Okay.
people. But anyway, so that was kind of, I told them after their show that night, I was just like, hey, so when you guys graduate and you're done here, and if you happen to come to LA, hit me up, because I would manage this excitedly.
Yeah.
And so in 2000, they did all of that, and then I started managing them, and I managed them for 8 fucking years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you put him in touch with Shane? How did Shane come about?
I don't remember how
Shane
that
just comes about,
Yeah, he does.
doesn't he?
Yeah, I'm not sure how that happens.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because Shane is obviously like my age, and we're obviously much older. But
Right.
at the time, he looked younger than all of them.
Yeah,
he
he
still
did.
looks younger than most.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it was. They were amazing. They
Seriously, that was one of the best fucking bands ever.
Live, they were just crushing, and that record we did was amazing.
Yeah, it really was.
So good.
Yeah. And Brian was also the guy who, like, there was no booking agent, so Brian was really the dude who booked all the
shows
tours.
and tour managed. And,
Yeah, they did like 9 national tours, and
Yeah.
I mean they
Really?
yeah, it was a big fucking deal. They did an amazing job.
No, they have a couple newer songs on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
But that old record is not on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. The band broke. Like, I left managing them, and then the band broke up.
Yeah, and then
and they
Josh
all just
kind of
went
on his own thing.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
did-
is he still doing stuff? I don't know.
I
if
believe he
is.
still does stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. I mean, his solo
I think
shit
he's
was
doing
amazing.
like scoring for films or
Oh,
something.
okay.
Yeah.
That-
But that record was like, it was crazy because we had like a month to do the record, and so we go in, we do the drums. Shane just smashes it out the park, like week, the first
So great.
couple days or whatever.
Right.
And then Brian comes in and tracks the bass, which
I have
was
an amazing, at the right time, like
Yeah,
after you're
okay.
done, but I have an amazing Brian story.
And then we recorded like the kind of like the first layers of guitars, and we started doing vocals, and the record was shaping up amazingly. And then we're like, we have like a day left or something, and then Josh comes in with this notebook, and he's like, okay, so now, like, he had charted out, everything,
Right.
in this crazy way. Let's do another.
You want to try a different one?
Yeah, let's try a different one. Let's go for that. Can you grab that Fess Parker Chardonnay, the one right next to it? That one, the other one. Yep. He had charted out. I don't know if you want to. No, you're good.
Jen's
I
on
just
top
did a
of it.
shot. I did a wine shot.
Amazing.
That's cool. I think you're going to start a new fad. Wine shots.
Wine shots.
Wineshots.com.
Yeah.
Josh, can you get that
Yeah,
URL real quick?
wineshots.com.
All right.
He'll have it by the time we're done.
He had charted out like the rest of the recordings that he had not told us about until we had like a day left.
Right.
And I went through this book with him, and this is when I realized that he was a genius. I didn't realize before. What he had like laid out was like he was like the intro of this song. I want to do like feedback, coming in, and he wanted to do 18 layers with like harmonies and had it all charted and all this stuff, and then he had all the violin parts charted for his mom played violin, so his mom was going to come in and play violin on on all the songs, and all these just like layers and layers and layers and layers and layers.
He was going deep.
He was going deep. Like we found out then that he was trying to make like a Pink Floyd record. Like we thought we were doing like a punk rock record.
Right.
And then it was like
So now that we have one day left, we're doing
Yeah.
a Pink Floyd record.
Exactly.
Right.
And I was like, dude, this just isn't how it works. Like we got like, we're done, like tomorrow.
Right. And also we would have preferred to hear this like on day one.
Yeah.
Because then we would have said no.
Yeah,
and then
exactly. And we could have came up with another plan or something.
Right.
But then we did end up, because I remembered I had rented out our studio to somebody else to come in. So we actually had to leave our studio. And then I was renting another studio to do other work it was actually it was in like Glendale or something. It was it's Jeff's it was Colin's dad's place.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah.
Colin's dad owned that place, and he owned one in Hollywood and one in Burbank or Glendale or something.
Right.
So I was renting that room or whatever to do other stuff, and then I ended up having to do like a bunch of Hank sessions, and they're like, 'cause that's where his mom came and did all the violins.
Right.
And anyways, yeah.
It
Yeah.
must be frustrating to have your own studio and someone's using it and
I
you have
know.
to rent a different studio.
Yeah. I had to pay the bills though sometimes. So
Right.
Yeah.
I rented out a few times. Babyface had his studio was literally 100 yards from my place, and so I would rent it to them to do like writing sessions in there, and yeah, we did whatever we could to survive in those days. But
yeah.
So once
Yeah.
you like transitioned over to like you're managing all these different bands, right? You pick up OPM. What was it like working with these guys?
I would have to say it was probably horrible for you.
No, it actually wasn't. I loved every second of it. I really did. Like I mean, the other thing is that I came from so many different bands and types of humans. Like, I didn't, it wasn't terrible at all. I kind of felt, it was interesting too, because I think it was like the first time I was coming into something that was already happening.
Yeah.
You know, like you guys had done shit and awesome shit before I showed up.
Yeah.
So there was something about that was just a really different experience, but a really
Which
great
would be nice
experience.
versus like trying to build something that has
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, there were a few things that were kind of fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, like the three things that my memory just sucks, but like there were three things I remember that were kind of standout moments, like the 311 show at Dodger Stadium.
Oh yeah.
You guys played with 311?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Many times actually.
No
Yeah.
way. I did not know that.
Yeah. But I just
Yeah.
remember, I don't
we
remember.
played with them in Lansing actually. It was pretty recent, or semi-recently, but this the Dodger Stadium one was pretty nuts.
Yeah. So, but I just remember that was something that I kind of, I don't remember the exact circumstances other than I really tasked myself on like with making sure that happened, you know, and then the finding your fucking equipment down in San Diego that they said was missing. Do you remember that whole thing? There was like, you guys left like some really important shit at your show in San Diego.
Okay.
And then you get back to LA and realize that it's gone. And it was something like $4K worth of shit.
Yeah.
And all of your, you know, whatever, all of your
Merch?
tracks. No, like your tracking shit or whatever, like all the...
Oh, the tracks.
Yeah.
Like the...
Oh,
yeah,
I think back then we were using like an 8-track to
DAT.
play the samples. It was like a DAT. It was called a DA88, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically,
The
like...
D88 machine.
That'd be a problem. You
Yeah.
lost that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all that stuff
I'll do
was
that
left, and we called a few times, and I could just tell, like, well, first you guys called,
Yeah.
and the guy was like, nope, there's nothing here, there's nothing here, and it was a big bummer, obviously, for everyone. Then I called too, and I just felt like that guy was just full of shit,
Yeah.
like not like lying, like he's keeping it and selling it, but just
Right.
he didn't get the gravity of like this being missing,
It's
and like
important
go search everywhere.
Yeah.
So I drove down, you know, and I didn't tell these guys because I didn't want it to be like, hey, I drove down and nothing came of it. So,
Yeah.
you know, but I drove down and I'm knocking on the fucking thing and I go in.
Do you remember what venue this was?
I don't
Was it
remember.
Canes?
It maybe. I don't remember exactly.
Vaguely remember
but-
this, but
Yeah. So I went down.
That's how good Jen was.
yeah.
She made this shit
She
happen.
handled shit.
So
Right.
so
Yeah.
I was banging on the fucking door, and finally this dude comes in. He's like, "Oh my God, what?" And I was like, "Oh, what? What is that you have some stuff? I want to look. I drove here from LA,
Yeah.
so I want you to give me free fucking reign of your establishment so that I can make sure that what we're missing is not here." And he was like, "Oh, okay, fine." So, like, I go in and I look everywhere. I can't find anything. And then I go, "Is there anywhere else?" He was like, and at the tail end, he goes, "Well, this is where we put stuff, the bands." I'm like, cool. I could have started there.
The
That would
lost
have been
and
great.
Found.
Yeah, like the last. But it was like one of those doors that was like under stairs. So it's like it went up and it was like cut off door. And so I go in there and literally it's right fucking there.
Oh my God.
And so I grab it and I get in the car and I drive back and whatever. So, yes. And it was very managerial, but I also just remember it was something where, you guys gave up.
Yeah?
Yeah. You guys were like, okay, we have to redo all
have
of
to
that
start
stuff.
over.
Yeah, we have to start over.
We have to start life over at this
right.
point.
Right. And then the third one was Big B not being able to get on the fucking airplane with you guys.
Oh my God. That one
Wait,
was
is he
rough.
like a Mr. T? He can't like get on an airplane.
No, he
Speaking of
accidentally.
Mr. T,
Okay.
he did actually. We were getting on a plane and he had one of those neck pillows around his neck, and then we took a bunch of pills.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to Europe.
Are you talking Big B now?
Yeah. Big
Yeah,
B.
we all took a bunch of pills before we used to take a bunch of pills before we get on the plane, so we would just pass out on the plane and wake up 8 hours later in London. And he took the neck pillow and put it on his head like a mohawk. And he is 6'5", 320 pounds. He's not like
and a scary motherfucker.
He's scary.
For people who don't know,
Yeah.
like just
Right.
like shaved head and like
yeah.
yeah. And he told me so.
But
first,
he thought it was he was just being funny. He just thought it was funny and
right. But yeah, a giant dude can't just be funny when And it was so he took some kind of pill that was like very specifically to just like go to sleep or something.
No,
right?
I think he had Tic Tacs. I think we were on pills and he was eating Tic Tacs.
No,
thought
but
they're
he
pills?
told me.
Oh.
No, here's the thing.
Okay.
He took some
I
pills.
think he was pretending like he was popping Tic Tacs. I think he was like making fun of Jeff
Yeah.
for being fucked up on pills and like throwing back Tic Tacs, like,
Ugh.
and other people saw it. Yeah,
Well-
because I don't think Big B probably would have. I think every now and then he would maybe take a Xanax or something, but
No, but Xanax. That
Yeah,
was
it was
thing.
Xanax.
So he took Xanax and
Yeah.
then he had a beer or,
Yeah.
or 3 or,
Or, yeah,
something.
many.
And he went cuckoo town
Yeah.
and they and so
And he's a big boy.
yeah, and
Yeah.
he's a giant dude. And so they kicked him off the fucking plane. And so
Yeah, they kicked him off.
Yeah, and so I talked to him. He's like, and he was. Here's the thing. This is like I love Big B so fucking much, but here's the thing that like made me love him all the more. So right when it was happening, he was like, "Oh, call Jen." So I get a phone call from the chick, off the airplane, and the plane
Yeah.
hadn't left yet, but this chick was talking to me, like whoever, security monster, whatever, just going. Well, he was being erratic on the plane, and as you know, he's a large gentleman. I'm like, okay, I get what you're saying.
Sizest.
And so we cannot allow him to be on the flight. And then I go, can I talk to him? And she goes, okay, sure. Passes the phone to Big B, and he's like, I don't know what's going on. I mean, I was just being myself. I wasn't doing anything crazy. I wasn't on anything or doing anything bad, whatever. And I'm like, okay. So then I said, can I talk to the girl? And then I arranged the next flight. I mean, again, the way we arranged it, as far as I know, he made the show, but it just wasn't traveling with you guys.
He made the show.
Right. So we did all of this work, like figuring
Yes.
out all this route and whatever. What's crazy is that, so then I got back on the phone with Big B. I'm like, okay, cool. So whatever's going on, drink a bunch of water, chill the fuck out, and you're leaving in like an hour or something. He was like, okay, thanks. So I thought, okay, done with that. He's just going to arrive and everything's going to be cool. So then B called me like 30 minutes later, and he was like, okay, I just want to tell you something. And I was like, okay, cool. He's like, okay, Xanax and 3 beers. I just want to say, he's like, I just didn't want to like hold on to that. I wanted to like let you know what really happened,
Oh
and
my
I'm
God.
so sorry, and thanks so much for like making it all work. And I was like, oh my God, I love this guy so much now, because he could have just been like,
Right.
fuck
Yeah.
off. I'm just like,
Right.
people don't like me, and I have to deal with this or whatever.
Yeah.
He copped to his shit, which was beautiful.
I
Yeah.
want to tell the truth.
Yeah. So those 3 things stood out amongst,
That's funny.
So
Do
wait
you
a
know that
second.
I almost died at that show?
Oh my God, no. Oh, I probably knew then. But
Yeah.
what was?
So that show, we opened up for the Black Eyed Peas, and it was in Germany somewhere, and there was 60,000 people, and they were on the beach. There was a beach that went up, and then we were on. So then they're all on the beach, and then the water is here, and then out, like a couple hundred yards out from the beach, there was a barge, and the stage was on the barge.
Oh wow.
And the barge was 10, 15 feet maybe high where you're standing. So we were, the green room was up above where the people were. We were hanging out, and then before our set, they escorted us down. We got on a boat. We drive the boat around the back, and we come in, and we get up on the stage, and we're playing our show. And like as we're coming out there, like Big B's, he was constantly trying to get us to do shit to get us into trouble. So it was not unusual, but he's like, dude, you gotta jump off the stage into the water at the end of the show, I was like, yeah, that's a great idea.
You're so collaborative.
Right.
So we play the show, and then it's over, and I go to jump off. I jump off the side of the barge into the water. I dove.
Oh fuck.
I dove off, and as I hit the water, bam! The water was like this deep, and I hit my head. Like if I had angled just a couple
so
degrees.
you almost like you basically
I almost
like belly
broke my
flopped.
neck. I kind of belly flopped. I kind of.
Right. So you didn't like go into.
I did. No, I hit the bottom. I hit the sand. My head hit the sand. I was almost knocked unconscious.
So B is like a fucking murderer.
Right? Yes, of course. Yes, exactly.
He was trying to murder
But I
you.
literally had I been angled like a couple degrees more this way, I would have broke my neck. Like,
Oh my god.
and then
Okay.
You guys would have been so popular.
we would have been huge for that. Yeah. And then I think
what a dumb asshole.
Well,
to
no,
jump
and then
off the barge into
all
the
60,000 people that are there, like they all know, like this is their beach.
Oh, right,
like
because
they're like, no, you're a fucking idiot.
Oh my god.
And then I try to like play it off, and I was swimming, and I'm in like 2 feet of water, and then I get over to them, and there's a ladder over there, and I like just stand up, and I'm in like it's like knee deep water.
Oh my god.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
it was crazy. It was intense.
So
Yeah.
what I'm getting
so
out of
you were-
all this,
You were
Jen,
totally okay though?
I
mean, you were
I was
sore or
sore.
something,
Yeah,
but, like,
I got
concussed.
rocked. Yeah, I feel like I got hit by a car.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jesus.
it was intense.
So this is my Freud moment. My Pink Freud moment.
Freud.
That'd be a great band. Were you ever a babysitter growing up?
No.
Do you think being a manager was your way of like trying to be a babysitter on steroids? Because that's what this sounds like to me.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, here's the thing. This is just like truth, right? So I was in my band, and yes, I sang, and you know, I wrote one song and like a little bit of another song. The other songwriters were like the main people, but I think through being in my own band, I was the manager internal for the band, and like kept our shit together and like made sure rehearsals were happening. If there were any fights, I would fucking fix them. I would just be like that person in my band. And so while I loved the like, you know, me singing and being a part of that, like that part of it, I think the thing that really made me happier or like served what like created joy for me was making sure that we were doing all the things we needed to do to ensure that the fucking goals were being made, you know, kept or whatever. So I think that, because while I was, you know, I was kind of like not even half, I was probably like an eighth artist and then 7/8 just making sure everything worked well.
Right.
So that kind of became my calling, even though I loved the aspect of like, rock star up on the stage, but it became something where, I don't know, that's where I kind of realized
kind of a driver.
Yeah,
make
like
things happen.
Yeah, and I realized kind of my calling with all of it was like, okay, I can, you know, I have good pitch, I can sing, I can do harmonies, I can do whatever, but what I'm really fucking good at is making sure that we're all like the streamlining of what we need to be doing and the focus and the goals and keeping those in mind and all of that stuff.
So kind of get shit done.
Yeah, and so...
And John's that with OPM. Like, I feel like from the history of I've heard too is like through all of it, you were kind of the one that kept on like pushing forward. Is that true?
Yeah, like when we were on tour, basically we would operate without a tour manager. I'd be the tour manager.
Right.
But Jen's role, she handled shit. Like, she handles business. She's no joke. Like,
so how do you
one
transition?
of the most no-nonsense, badass motherfuckers I've ever known.
That's wonderful.
I did a little
Appreciate
research
that.
on you, just a little bit, and I found a podcast, and I was like, I listened to like 3 minutes, I was like, I get you.
Oh, nice.
I was like, oh, wow, this is very similar to kind of how I feel, even though at times I'm like trying to pull myself back a little bit. But how did you transition from music to actors? How did that come about?
I mean, the short version is that I got to the point because you have to understand, like when I started managing music, this was like, oh, we got $1 million advance for our blah blah, or like, oh yeah, we're gonna shoot that music video for $250K, and you know, that's when I started in the business. So it got to the point where, and I stayed solo the whole time. Like I never joined up with a company. It was just myself, you know, it was just me doing all this stuff. So I got to the point where I don't know. I kind of got sick of all the shit, like keeping up with the new things, the changes, how YouTube affected things, how GarageBand affected things, how whatever. And the money side started going down, lower and lower.
Yep.
Wow. Right.
And we were still in the place where licensing wasn't fucking cool. You know, like putting your music in a fucking commercial, or like, oh, we're selling toothpaste. Like that was kind of off limits, but that was also the way that money was needing to be made at that point. And obviously you can navigate that in a way like, oh, we're in a cool indie film, or we're whatever, but the majority of it was very like commercialism, like, okay.
It was sellout shit.
Yeah, so it was still
if you were in a
considered
commercial.
selling out. Right. So it was a really tough time to kind of figure out how to
Make money without selling out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, it's not even, it wasn't money motivated as far as like, no, well, how am I going to buy my Rolls Royce? It's just like, how am I going to fucking like
make a living?
Yeah, make a living and get the energy, which is money, like the energy going in the right places to continue to expand and all of that. So, and there were a few other things. I mean, I kind of got to a point where with a couple of my artists that I was working with, I knew that if I continued doing my job well, that more and more people would be in the position of hearing what they had to say. And I was realizing that I wasn't really behind what they had to say. So that was kind of fucked up. I was like, okay, I'm going to piece out of this. And, but I knew that I wanted to work with artists, and I knew that I had kind of found my calling of helping artists do whatever it is that they wanted to do.
Visionaries need management.
Right, and so the only other place...
They do.
Yeah, I mean, and they need the right management. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I feel like part of the reason that my company's found the success that it has is that I come from a place of knowing what the fuck art is and why it's important and all of that stuff. It's not just about like, oh, let's exploit these creative people to have a fucking house or whatever it is. So that was when I decided like, okay, well, actors is the way to go, because that's, I mean, I'm not going to like manage painters or something. I was like, it needs to be more active and whatever. So in 2008, that's what I decided to do, was like be done with the music industry completely and start managing actors. And I actually had a friend named David Basilla who had been a friend for a really long time, and he kept saying, like, he would hear me on the phone with my bands or whatever, just going, what the fuck, and, doing whatever I do. And then he said, you should manage actors. Like, this is something you should do.
2008, isn't it? Was that the Great Recession?
I entered post the
Recession.
big...
Okay.
Yeah, like the big strike that fucked shit up. So I was after that, after it.
Just after it.
But my friend David just kept saying, like, you should manage actors. And then when I decided that I wasn't going to work in the music side anymore, he said it again just at that moment. I was like, cool, I'll see what that's like. So there's a website called Breakdowns, which is basically, it's all the casting directors putting out all of the roles that are available. Right. And so, I mean, I immediately was so fucking pissed off, because I'm like, hello, music business. Why don't you have a website where you say what the fuck you're looking for? We can go submit my band or whatever. It's so much more streamlined. So, I mean, when I was managing music, I had ATN Management, which was, and it stands for All Together Now. So I had that. And then when I started on the acting side, it was basically ATN Entertainment, just because I had some, like, it's not going to just be actors, it's not going to be, I didn't know what it was going to be, but that kind of began to, just like a wider and bigger umbrella. So I started in 2008. I was still doing my South by Southwest showcasing the music side, which was great, because it kind of kept my lifeline in great music. Like, I still felt part of music in that way. But so I started managing, and my friend David Basilla, who I told you about, he's an actor, and he was like, you should manage actors, you should do that. So I decided, like, okay, cool. So I started, and David was my one actor client.
All right.
So I got, as a manager or an agent, you subscribe to Breakdowns, and you get that website availability so that you can be submitting your guys. So I got Breakdowns, And I think then it was like $250 a month or something.
Don't agents submit?
Right, but here's the thing. Yes, they do. Okay. That's their job. Their agent's job is to get the work. But what managers can also do is submit and pitch and get jobs for clients. So we do all of that. That's a major pursuit of ours, is to be submitting and pitching for our actors. So I got breakdowns, $250 a month for one client. It was just like me and David figuring the shit out of my apartment. So, and pretty quickly, the one thing that I realized too, this is crazy. So the one thing I realized is that being a band manager, like a solo band manager, not like with some hot shit company or whatever. I mean, I would get people asking me like, so what do you do? And I'm like, I manage bands. And literally the majority of the responses were like, oh, that's a job? Like, oh, you mean that's what you do for your life? I'm like, yeah, fuck, thanks. Yes, that is what I do for my life. But it's so polar opposite, obviously, especially being in LA, being an actor manager.
Yeah.
Like, I learned very quickly to just shut the fuck up about what I do. Like, I don't tell people like, oh, I manage actors, because it's like I went to a birthday party of one of my clients, and she had said that, oh, I invited my manager, and a bunch of the people who attended the birthday party were her acting class. And I mean, these motherfuckers showed up with resumes in their purses at a bar, Yeah. But it was a crazy thing, the polar opposite. So then I started just like not ever telling anyone about that. But so 2008 I started, and within about 6 months I had 11 clients, just because, and back then it was just like, oh, I like you. Cool. I'll manage you. I don't, you may be a great actor, you may not be, but I like you, and that's it. So, and I'm still doing my showcases, which for me, my South by Southwest showcases were basically get the sponsor dollars on board, and it was anywhere from like 30 to 50K every time, and a new charity every year. So 2008, late in the year, I found out that my sponsor for my 2009 South by fell out, and I didn't have them anymore. And so I went to someone who I had met she used to like work at, she used to help manage Anthrax or some shit, but she had an actor.
Band or like the Poison?
Yeah.
The Poison.
Yeah.
Or the band Poison?
Yeah. Wait. Oh yeah, so confusing. Yeah. No, but
let's ask Colin.
Yeah. So I had spoken to her about something else earlier, and then I went to her and I said, look, I have 11 clients. My sponsor fell out for South by. I already have bands like confirmed. I have to make sure that happens. I was really excited about being a manager, but I have to figure this shit out. And she was like, so I said, so take a look at my roster and let me know if there's anyone that you would love to work with or whatever. So she said, we will take all 11 clients, and then once you're done with your South by thing, circle back, we'll have a meeting and decide what we want to do, which was amazing. So all that happened. I pulled off my showcase, whatever, and I had a meeting, and then I became a manager at her company. So I was there for 6.5 years, and I started as a manager, then senior vice president and executive vice president, and then late 2015, I decided to just start my own thing. But basically it was, and I learned a shit ton. That was my, cut my teeth, figure out what the hell's going on.
Obviously, smart move to transition from music to film when you did, especially at that time. But going back to what I was saying about the music industry, it kind of reminded me, so the film industry, obviously the tech of being able to download a film, because of the difficulty of larger files, obviously, or whatever.
Right.
They were able to see the devastation coming rather than it hitting them. The music industry just hit them overnight almost.
Oh, right.
And the film industry kind of had some time to prepare for it. So now you see, they were prepared and they changed tech. You look at companies like Netflix, and Netflix is the best example of it, right? Or even back then, Blockbuster kind of got ahead of it and started doing like there was a Blockbuster, website or whatever. But like Netflix being the best example, right? Like
I never thought of that. That's so interesting, the size of the file.
Yeah. You couldn't. I mean, back then I remember like people trying to download movies and stuff. They remember Pirate. It was called Pirates Bay or whatever was the website.
Right.
Pirates Bay had everything. There were torrents. Remember that was the big thing was BitTorrents, right? So there were films and stuff out there, but it was like often you would download a film on on a torrent site or whatever, and it would like
take forever.
It would take forever, and then like you'd get halfway through it, and then you realize the file was corrupt or whatever, and it was just like I got to
download a virus.
It was exactly. It was.
Yeah, it would stop in the middle, and you're like, fuck, great.
It was
I mean,
horrible.
not that I did it or any of us did it, but
yeah. So, but Netflix
no illegal stuff. That's weird.
Yeah. So the film industry obviously got ahead of it. I'm sure a lot of big film companies have suffered from the wrath of like a big company like Netflix or whatever, who's now making their own films, or like HBO making their own films and their own series and stuff like that. But it kind of feels like it was a seamless sort of adjustment. They weren't like devastated by any means. I think maybe like, and then even like COVID. Basically that was devastating, right? To not being able to go see movies, right? And then it's actually changed it, like the model of like now Disney putting out films on their app even before or during the time of being in the theaters and all that.
I mean, even the concept of deals now, where it's like you find out whether it's going to be theatrical or it's just going to go straight to streaming. And before, it was never even, a long while before, it was never a question. Like, of course, it would come out in theaters, and then you would figure out what the fuck to do with it. But now it's like, I have a client who did House Party. Like, they did the remake with LeBron. Yeah, so...
Wait, House Party was Kid and Play, right?
No, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, like, House Party... No, that's Fridays. Sorry. No, Friday or whatever.
Friday was Ice Cube.
Oh, okay.
My neck, my back, my neck and my back.
That's Friday. House Party was Kid and Play.
Oh, okay.
Wait, LeBron? I don't know if I'm aware of this. There's a new version of House Party?
House Party, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I just know on So on my side of that with a client in it, and she's like the female lead of that.
Okay.
Of that. There was that moment of like, okay, are we going theatrical release or is it just going to go HBO Max and question and at first it was just going to be HBO Max, but then now it looks like it's theatrical then HBO. Anyway, but there was a period of time where it wasn't even a question, like that wasn't an option. It was just like it's going to be theatrical.
It's going to be theatrical, and you'd be pumped if it ended up somewhere else after.
Right. Yeah, because that would be the thing that would, after the main thing, would be able to generate some supplemental income after.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because I haven't until you just said that. Like I have never put together the concept of, the pirating and all of that stuff, and this, and in a way, the solution to pirating was kind of like Netflix. Like that's. Like we'll do it official and we'll make it a streaming thing where it's like it goes there. There's a lot of information woven into that whole thing, but it's an interesting concept rather than just like, oh, well, it's in the theaters.
Yeah.
And then
that's interesting. When I remember very specifically, I don't know why, but when I was at Island, I went to I think a friend of mine was speaking on a panel at some conference, and they threw up this chart, and it was talking about there was all this data on who's buying records, and the number one spot was like 13-year-old girls, like by a lot. And then the number two spot was like, it was maybe it was a range of like 12 to 15-year-old girls, and then the next spot was 12 to 15-year-old boys, and then it kind of and this was the sale of CDs, right? So
wow.
And then it was rural, right? Country music in the rural areas that didn't have internet.
Not this center, not this era. This one I was at Island. This is still like this is very early pre-Napster stuff. Yeah. So, and then it kind of went down, and then you figure like, older, at that point, like a 45-year-old male was still buying vinyl, or you know what I mean? Like that was still available, or cassettes or whatever. So they were a smaller market of the CD sales. And at that point, all they cared about was CD sales, because CDs were king, right? And they were making so much money, and they were, they were re-releasing old, 70s catalogs. Like Atlantic at that time when we got signed, like they had just re-released and remastered all the Led Zeppelin. They turned it into CDs and made more money selling CDs than they had originally sold on vinyl.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, so there was, just the amount of money they were making was insane. And when you were at that time, if you were dropping what was considered an A-level band, like, if U2 was going to drop a record, the expectation was they were going to sell 1 million CDs on week 1, and then it would, kind of slow down from there. But they knew that like, the first, 10 weeks or whatever, they were going to sell, close to 10 million records.
Right.
Or whatever. And then there was this bit about where they talked about like piracy, like how much was pirated. Obviously the ability to burn CDs was a thing then, but in America at that time, it was like very taboo.
Right.
To steal a CD.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was like a fraction. It was less than 1% of the circulation of said CD or whatever, right?
Right.
And so that mentality is why the concept of something like Napster coming out and then it being straight piracy,
right? They
thought like there isn't a chance in hell. And I remember them showing in other countries like China, for example, the highest. It was a similar chart, and it was the young people, and the piracy level was the highest, and then the sales went, down the graph. And they would talk shit about China, like, so obviously we're never going to send our bands to China because fuck them, because they're stealing all this stuff,
right. Right.
And other, a bunch of other countries. So they really didn't think that would happen, and then like within a matter of, less than a decade,
right.
like half of a decade, let's say, like 5 years, whatever, the norm for kids became to just steal music.
Right.
Right.
And then that was like I think what you were alluding to, we were talking about, like, but in still like in we were talking about country blew up because the kids who were listening to country couldn't afford computers, as was the idea, right? So they were still buying CDs. They were like behind. They didn't have a computer that had the ability to, steal stuff.
Steal it. Right.
Yeah.
So made country popular.
Yep.
Which puts a lot of artists in the country, a lot of
which
industry
became pop.
into
Pop became country.
Pop country,
Yeah. And
It's crazy.
everybody who was a good studio musician in LA moved to Nashville.
Right.
But tech changes everything, right?
Yeah.
Like tech is still changing the industry you're in too, because
Yeah.
like I know a lot of actors. Baseline, as an actor, you need to be a good actor, even though there's a lot of bad acting on this stuff. But actors are artists, just like musicians, and they need management, period. Like, artist, management, right? However, like, I think a lot of artists I found are disillusioned now because a lot of stuff that they do goes into a black hole. Like, you don't go in, you don't get to meet people, you don't get to, like, audition in front of people and meet them and, like, show your true identity. You have to go self-tape in your own room, in your own house, send it into a black hole, and you never know if it even exists, because the industry's changed from my understanding, changed to the fact of like
big time.
Yeah,
there's literally, if we get a request for an in-person theatrical like commercial is its own monster, but like theatrical audition, like for TV, film, or whatever, I mean, it would be a surprise. Like, wait, you mean you're like going into a room with? But in a way, I mean, I look at that. I look at COVID almost very similarly to how I look at like YouTube and GarageBand and fucking MySpace, how that shifted the paradigm early on. Because the reality is, you still like shitty actors are still going to be shitty actors. amazing actors are still going to be amazing actors. Casting is, and this isn't the real thing, but like they're more excited about sitting in their pajamas watching fucking self-tapes than like, oh my God, Fred, how are you? Are you doing well in your life? And blah, 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 who gives a fuck, whatever, do your scene. You know, and I'm not saying that in a way that the casting sucks. Like, there are a lot of casting directors who I personally know actually give a fuck. Like, they're, you know, when someone, back in the day, when they would do a live audition and, like, the art was present, they would hug because the casting director was like, fuck yeah,
right.
This is amazing. But I feel like this is something that we're just weathering in a way, and again, just like everything, you know, the pendulum fucking goes crazy, and it's gonna fucking settle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I mean, just on the acting side, like there will be in-person auditions, but it will not. I mean, my prediction or whatever, it's not going to be the first audition out. Like the first audition is self-tape because it fucking works, and you can be on a mountain in.
Yeah, but do you think? Like, actors, it's putting a lot more work on actors to do all this upfront work that they don't know where it's going.
But the flip side is that an actor can do 27 takes if they need to.
Yeah, but they're going to spend all day doing that, or 2 days doing that, and get their camera right.
Yeah, but it's worth it.
No, but it is, because now, here's the thing. Every actor that I manage, they have a home self-tape setup that costs about $45, and they're ready to go. So, but they have a bit more. I mean, in a way, it's a feeling
of doing their hair, their makeup by themselves.
Yeah, but when they're doing a film, it's more than that. Or if you're recording a record, it's more than that. Like there isn't. So nobody's a one take.
So
Jake.
would you record like 50 songs and then, well, Atlantic? How many songs do you guys put out, and then they're like, let's move on to the next thing? You know what I mean? Like it's a lot more put on than normal in the past, I'd say.
No, if you think about, like, you've heard stories about, like, Kubrick directing, like, I can't remember there was that one scene in Eyes Wide Shut, and they filmed the same, it was like a 30-second scene, and they filmed it for, like, 8 days straight.
How much work would you do if you knew you didn't know if anything was going to come out of it?
I mean, obviously the
that's
goal
what
would
actors, I mean, if an actor comes into the business and their expectations are solidly in reality, they know what the fuck they have to do. Yeah. It's like either it's this or go find something else to do, because this is the way that this works. So it's like, to me, the first round of auditioning is on tape. So fucking figure it out. Do your best work, figure it out. On my side of things, usually what I tell my actors is like, cool, so do a take that is for casting. You know, like you're like, okay, I'm going to give them what I think that they want, and then give me a take that's for you, like the art part. And usually I send in both takes. So it's like, you know, here's the one that is kind of catered to you, and here's the one that is just the artistic expression of the fucking human.
No, I like that.
So, but again, you know, I have these conversations with my actors so often.
Right. I've read that stuff, like, and it's like you get such vague, like this is what we want, and then all these specifications.
Right.
It's a lot of. I mean, I live with it, by the way, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
No, but I would say
I love what you're saying though. Is like do what you think they want, and then do what you think would be good. I like that.
And you wouldn't have that opportunity in a live
room.
Casting,
Oh yeah, no.
And
because
then
they'll go, okay, thank you.
Yeah,
next
exactly.
scene or whatever.
Yeah, and in whichever version you pick to do, you could still miss the mark. And then I was to say, to go back to your question, answer your question, like, would you still do it? And the answer would be like, yes, endlessly.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
Endlessly.
Yeah.
Like it's like the line from Dumb and Dumber where, like, about like, you have a 1 in a million shot or whatever. It's like, oh, so you're saying I have a shot.
Right.
Like that's every actor or musician's mentality. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. You're either going to...
You're not sold?
No, but here's the thing.
Not at all.
No, but you're either going to fucking cut it or you're going to leave, and that's on you.
You can't brew like...
I don't even know if we're talking about the same thing, to be honest. I might not be on your...
I'm just playing with you.
Yeah.
But you can't brew endless beer if no one's going to buy it, right?
But there's a million... most people brewing out there are doing that. hoping that someone will until they figure it out.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I thought it
I
thought it just rattled you guys a little bit.
No, but I understand what you're saying, but like you, like, and obviously it's because of the fact that like it's a 1 in a million shot. It really is on anything like the.
No, totally. And most actors, they come in knowing that shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, there's a validity to having a manager or having an agent or having someone on your team who's like, fuck yeah, we're doing this together. I believe in you.
Right.
And sometimes I believe in you when you don't even fucking believe in yourself.
And that's my point of, I think, why management is so important.
Yeah. No, I agree. But that,
Right.
but there is a reality now where it's like, yeah, you have to get your self-tape game down because, here's the thing. I say this to my actors all the time. There's so many things about this business that are just super fucked and don't make sense and are not okay, and in fear and scarcity and all of this stuff. But you have to get what that is and still decide to be here and present and contribute and do your job.
Yeah.
Because there is the option of like getting really frustrated. I say exactly the thing. I'm like, okay, so you either go picket in front of Netflix and that's your job, or you head down, do the fucking work, get to a place where what you say matters in the industry, and then express yourself.
Right.
So it's like on my side, I get what this game is. We all in the industry, we decided consciously to play this game. And that's what we're doing. So don't be surprised when something inane and fucking ridiculous happens, because that is what this is. Yeah. And we chose to be here, and we chose to continue to pursue art and work on the craft and bust our asses to get shit done.
I'm gonna go on a little bit of a tangent.
Yes.
But it'll play back into what we're talking about. It was just something interesting that's happened recently, like something that I kind of acknowledged. A bunch of people have asked me about the podcast. It was funny. Like I talked about. I'm trying to formulate my thought here, but I talked about doing this podcast for a while, and then and I talked to a bunch of people about it, and then until I talked to you. You were the first person that was like, yeah, let's do that. And I was like, oh, yeah, let's do that. And people have asked me, a bunch of people have asked me, why, who's this guy, Jeff? Why do you do the podcast with him or whatever? And I was like, and my answer has always been like, oh, because we do jiu-jitsu together, and like, whatever. And like, it's like a really dumb answer. Like, wait, we do jiu-jitsu together, and they're probably like going, that's a dumb answer, but that's the answer. I mean, I don't know why, but the answer is really that like you were the first person who was like, let's do this. And then sort kind of sidebar to that, a bunch of people, now that we're doing the podcast, a bunch of people have told me, oh, I really want to do a podcast. I want to do a podcast. And I'm always like, well, why aren't you should do it? Why aren't you doing it, whatever? Aside from my sister, who her answer is like it's logistics. She's not a tech person. She has no idea how to put the cameras and the microphones into a room. But everybody else aside from her, and it's been multiple people, their answer is all that they're afraid. They're afraid to do it. There's some fear in the answer. It's and I think for you and me, like for me, and I was like, for me, it's like, obviously I have there's a clear reason for me, like why I wouldn't be afraid to sit in front of a camera. I've been on stage 1,000 times. I've done 1,000 interviews. There's fear isn't even in it. There's a confident, like it's almost, I'm overly confident at this point. I'm like watching them back going, I need to like tone down my confidence level a little bit. And then I think for you, it's the same. Like there was zero fear for you. You've done podcasts before. You do when you're doing your.
Well, the reality and why I was biting at that, just because I just wanted. My wife's an actor, and
I figured as much because you were talking about self-tapes. Like
I shouldn't be the one on camera. Like she knows what she's doing. But I started doing stuff like this, and I just forget that I'm even on camera.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't.
But there's no fear in it for you.
Right, I don't care
You know
what
what I
people
mean?
think of me.
So, I mean, that's kind of my point, and I think that, like, this stuff to most people is really fucking scary.
Right.
You know, and, like, fear is one of the main components of
Not allowing yourself to live.
well, no, but like
Right.
it's like the you know, like when you're, like, imagine if you're doing a casting and you like, you know that, let's say one day you're going to have 100 people come in, only one of those people can get the part.
Right.
So there's a big sweep of just cutting the heads off of 99 people
Right.
on that day, and probably 90 of them, it's clear the second they walk in the door that they're scared.
Right.
And they don't know that's what it is, but it comes across in their performance. They're not, you know, and then it's you whittle it down to like, there's 10 people who came in here fearless, confident, know what it is they're doing, whatever, and then now you
Right.
got to pick between a handful of people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what the crazy thing about that is too is that fear is inherent, like, you know, getting on stage or being like the focus or whatever. And then you have a shit ton of people in this industry who perpetuate it and push it and make it be something that is like, I mean, that's the thing that I deal with every single day.
Yeah.
Is you know, reps, a lot of times, you know, agents, managers, producers, directors, whatever. I mean, there are a lot of really good people that I've actually met, which was hallelujah. But, you know, there are a lot of managers, agents who they lead with ego and they lead with, I have the ability to make your dreams come true, but I'm not doing that for you. You know, and it's a pretty intense thing. Like so many actors that I meet with on their first meeting with me, I can just tell they're beaten the fuck down.
Yeah.
Like they are afraid. They're cool to have an agent who never gets them any auditions, but just having one is so important.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, I've done some of these panels. Like every now and again, I'll do like a manager panel or a rep panel, and you have like 25 to 50 actors in front of you, and we're the rep people. And like, there's one in particular that I remember that it kind of encapsulated the entire problem with the industry. So we were there, like the thing started at 11 and we were there at 10:45, and there was a spread created for us, like, oh, bagels and fluffy bullshit, whatever. You know, and the actors are out there. I mean, I just, you know, and I kind of went to this mode of like, you know, we're being fed this amazing spread. They're fucking hungry and they're just out there observing the awesomeness that we get to have. And then there are these managers who are on their phones or talking with each other like, oh yeah, we just got the series regular on the big fucking blah, blah, blah. And like, oh yeah, you know, the rate is like $50K an episode. It's incredible. And they're doing this shit in front of these actors who are just like, I just want one job, or like
Right.
somebody to give a fuck or whatever. And they keep, like, these reps and stuff, they get to get away with this, and it perpetuates the fear that a lot of times, like you were saying, these guys already have it going on without any, you know, outside influence.
Yeah.
And then you have some reps, some agents, managers come in and go, you know, change your fucking hair, you're never gonna make it. You know, and then they rush off and they change their hair, you know, or this fear factor shit. And also like, well, you know how long it's taken you to get an agent, and I'm kind of interested, so you need to kind of shut the fuck up and do what I think you should do. And the number of times that I have to like fight against that and try to like get all that shit off. I mean, it's like it literally is like, you know, beaten actor syndrome, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, I'll have somebody that I'm really vibing with and I think they're really talented and I'm excited, and then even at the end of the meeting where we've totally vibed and it's cool, and they'll say something like, I mean, would it be okay if maybe I just like called you like just like once a month or so, like just to, you know? And I'm like, fuck, like let all that go. Just be all right. Like, I'm your manager. My job is to facilitate what you need to do in your career. So we're going to be talking all the time. Just have that.
Right.
Like communication, figuring out what the fuck needs to get done and doing that. But I mean, it is such an insidious fucking thing, especially for just artists who are here to like go, cool, art, I want to create some shit. I want to like impact, like emotional impact with someone and like make that be my thing. And, you know, and then there's just all of these things that are just fucking, I mean, it's insane. It is an insane pursuit to like navigate this industry with, like, I can say one for one, every fucking actor, writer, director, or whatever on our roster, they're tremendously talented. And I would probably say about 50 to 60% of them, I'm still peeling away all of this gross shit that has been attached to them over the time they've been in the industry.
I think it's an important thing that you're doing.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
insane.
really
I mean,
which leads us to a perfect point. Tool.
yes.
Tool.
John has this thing called Tool.
Yes.
Explain Tool.
Okay.
This is
Tool
perfect timing for this.
Okay,
is the
good.
theory of overall logic.
Okay.
It's a theory that basically summed up is the idea of, it's basically a replacement for the word common sense,
Okay.
which I think has been the word
Lost.
The word has been lost. It's been
Right.
Basically because I think people now think it's like, oh, the word common is very misleading.
Right.
I think our generation, our parents were given a set of skills and tools to survive in life, and then that was called common sense.
That was passed down.
It was passed down to us sort of inadvertently, and then when our generation started having kids, the saying common sense, either you have it or you don't, was a thing.
Right.
And so then obviously there's different levels of intelligence in people. So like someone might have two kids and one was smarter than the other, and they would say, oh, this one has common sense and this one doesn't. So then like we don't need to teach them the common sense things.
Kind of a less has been passed down from
Yeah.
our generation to the next. is kind of the
Exactly.
thought.
And so now it's kind of snowballed into like, I think our generation now it's very common for people to say these kids have no common sense anymore. I think there's a whole generation that's kind of lacking common sense.
Which Socrates said a long time ago.
Yeah.
However, one of the pieces that we like to do on this podcast, it's not a podcast, it's a show, is we like to talk to people that have taken like different paths than most people. That's why we wanted you on the show. You've taken your own path, maybe by design or not, but you just decided what you wanted to do. What was like one lesson learned for you, and then I'm sure there's plenty, that you would like maybe give advice to like your younger self or other people?
And specifically like a tool in your toolbox, your mental toolbox of something that like.
I got it. I know what I'm going to say.
Okay.
I love
So-
that. I love that tool. The
Yeah.
tool in your toolbox.
In your toolbox. So obviously a big part of my job is being able to sit with another person and potentially try to change something or add more information so that we're more in line with what we need to accomplish. So so much of my job is communication. It's like figuring out right now I have 102 clients, and every fucking one of them is a complete individual, not like any of the others. And that takes a lot of how to communicate, because you have to like shift your shit to be able to really communicate to each individual person.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. So, but one of the things that I've learned is, I mean, this is a tough thing to say, because in an ideal world, you actually give a fuck. You know? I mean, like, as a foundation, you actually care about the individuals in front of you, and you know that it is a huge responsibility to come in as like, cool, I'm going to be the one who's going to spearhead the actualization and the progress of what your dreams have been since you were 5 fucking years old, right? So it's like, that's a huge responsibility.
It's heavy.
Yeah. So So part of the thing, and what I've found has been successful, I mean, in hindsight, it wasn't like the plan of like, well, if I do this, I'll be successful. But it's like it has ended up being successful is, for one thing, which not a lot of people have, so this is kind of like a bit of a sidebar thing, but it's like I came from a place of knowing art and creating things and why that fucking matters. And writing a song that resonates or contributing to a band that makes, that has an impact or whatever. But every single conversation that I have about something that is important, even just shifting like, okay, so we've been doing things this way for a little while because you wanted to. Let's try it this way because it's not totally fucking knocking out the park and we need to do this. But it's always leading with the love and care and giving a fuck about the person in front of you, because then everything you say after that is in line with what that is, because that person is never going to feel attacked or like me going, what the fuck are you doing? You need to shift that whole thing because it's not right. And I feel like part of the success for me is that I don't anymore. I mean, in the beginning I was just like, oh, this cool. You seem like we both like pizza. I'll manage you or whatever the fuck. It's so much more than that now. But like leading with the fact that you actually give a shit, you already established the foundation for then what you're going to say after that. Because I can tell you the majority, like if someone were to interview my clients and the first question was, does Jennifer give a fuck? Like actually care about you? One for one, it's going to be abso-fucking-lutely. So that is such an important part of this job. And that's why there are so many reps out there who like maybe they don't. And then clients are like, fuck you. But it's not, oh.
I was mostly waiting for a moment. I just want to get your attention, but I want you to finish your thought.
Okay,
whoops.
okay.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. No, it's totally fine. I thought you were saying like, can we?
No.
Okay.
No, sorry.
Okay. So there are a lot of reps out there who don't lead with that, and they're, agents inherently are money, and I understand that. That a lot of these companies, like, you have to bring in 3 times your income in order to not get shit canned. So of course they are forced to have money as the first thing. Like, is this guy in the next 6 months, is he going to bring in significant income? So, but as a manager, your whole job is to give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, truly care and want the best for the person and be able to just be the sounding board, hold your position, speak some truth that they might not want to hear. But that's the thing. Like, if you have shown that you actually give a fuck and you're there for the right reasons, as long as you establish that at the beginning, even and sometimes it comes down to the very specific conversations. It's like, as you know, I actually give a fuck about you succeeding, and so therefore, blah blah blah. And this is kind of, these are the things over time too that I've learned. Like, to me, of course, like, that is common sense. Like, of course you have to actually give a fuck.
Yeah.
But there's so many reps that don't necessarily truly give a fuck, and then they try to correct something or come in with some heavy-handed shit, and they're gonna perpetuate the fear, and then the clients are going to just succumb and do whatever the fuck they're told because of that fear. Or it's going to be the type of environment where it's like you have people who actually give a shit, and then they're telling you something that needs to change, and you're going to fucking listen because it's coming from the place of actually caring.
Well, I think that's a perfect tool, and I can relate to that, just in the fact that you have to understand what you really care about to actually do something for the people, those specific people, and they'll connect to you.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, and I was looking in my notes, my tool notes, whatever, and like trying to find the chapter basically of what you were speaking pretty broad, but basically there's the chapter of love is always the answer.
Yeah. That's
the thing. And like if you come at any situation from a place of love, like, and that goes deep for me. Like, and obviously, like in the '60s, there was this love movement or whatever, and then it got lost and jumbled in the '70s or whatever. But they were definitely onto something, and like meeting every opportunity, every situation with love
Right.
Yeah.
is going to
Win.
it's going to win.
Love wins.
Yeah, love
Yeah.
wins, and hate is, whatever, or all
Loses.
the jumble. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's very true. I mean, because that establishing moment of like somebody actually giving a fuck, then you can
Yeah.
be vulnerable, and then
Yeah.
you can actually say what the fuck's going on, and you can communicate
connect.
in that reality
Yeah.
and figure shit out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I was gonna ask. It seems like to work with you. Do you think that having that connection initially is like baseline, kind of with any of your clients, or is that something you develop over time?
Well, I'll tell you, like now, because of the number of like meetings I've had, meetings with new potential clients and all of that, I've gotten to the place where probably sometimes within the first 30 seconds, sometimes within the first 5 minutes, I know whether the vibe is right, and I know whether where they're at is somehow correct or works for where I'm at in this pursuit. And
You know your type.
yeah, I know my type, and it really has to do with like very little ego, knowing that the art part is the most important for them, and them allowing someone else like myself to come in and be like, cool, so I'm handling the business side for you. So you can like wake up and do art, and you do art all fucking day, and then you go to sleep and you do the same thing over and over again. And and I mean, it's interesting too, because the type, like the meetings that I have with actors who've been doing this a long time, and obviously have had a zillion other reps and whatever, they're like, what I really like about you is just you fucking tell it like it is. And I'm like,
You don't have time not
how
to do
the
that.
fuck? I mean, but seriously, like anyway, my path has been, I was doing art myself. I went directly into helping others do like actual art. I can't even fathom what I would say that would be anything other than let's be real and